Mr. Mark Inglis and Patron to start us off. This is the official lighting of the flame, well, a bit different from the Olympics. We now have Dr. one of the organizers of the event. I'll let him explain why we're actually sponsoring the Samata schools, also called the Vantage schools. It will be followed by a video presentation on what the schools are all about.
Thank you very much, Prana. Namaste, Kia ora, and very good evening. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. It's my great pleasure to be here today, heartily welcoming you all to this very cheerful Nepal night as the program coordinator. We feel very lucky to have with us our honorary guest, Patron of Nepal New Zealand Society, Mark Inglis, the Vice Chancellor of Canterbury University, Dr. Prof, Professor David Simmons from Lincoln University. He is also the Patron of Nepal New Zealand Alumni Association. We have Parliamentary Secretary for Ethnic Affairs, Mrs. Mellisa, and we have representatives and councillors from City Council, Christchurch City Council, invited guests and QE friends. Today we are here to celebrate Nepal Night with a fundraising event for Samata School in Nepal. This event, which is third in the series, is organized by Non-Residents Nepali Association in New Zealand in coordination with Charity Task Force and Nepal New Zealand Friendship Society of Canterbury, Christchurch. So two such programs were organized in the past. We organized one program in April this year in Waimate, and second program was in Invercargill, May this year. On behalf of organizing committee and also on the behalf of Nepal New Zealand Friendship Society, I must say that we value your participation most and seek to strengthen our involvement in the societies. Although you all may be wary of knowing about Nepal's slow progress towards a full-fledged democracy and socio-economic development, the scope of the challenge the nation faces is huge. As many of you probably already know, in Nepal, children from low-income families are deprived from many opportunities. They have very limited access to good education. Samata school system, also known as Bamboo School, is the only place of gaining quality education for many poor children or underprivileged children, and especially girls. Today's event reflects charity drive envisioned by NRN Charity Task Force team and Nepali diaspora in an attempt to meet expectation that all Nepalese living and working abroad can and should play an important role in the socio-economic development of Nepal. Today's event is also one of the biggest events for us, and there may be a lot of room for improvement. This is the first time we have actually organized such a charity program, and we have tried to keep the expenses to a minimum so that we could send most of the funds collected directly to the schools in Nepal. Over time, we aim to raise over 100,000 New Zealand dollars and hope our effort will increase towards the achievement of the ultimate goal, help open a new branch of Samata School. The fact is that your voices and your resources can help make a big difference to the lives of many poor children and young forced laborers in Nepal. Your influence with colleagues here, encouraging their participation, is also critical. Samata school system is simple, inexpensive, but powerful and capable of reaching to so many people. The organizing committee highly value your participation to this cultural night and applaud it. There is no more opportunity that helps create a generation's futures and happiness, more visibly than supporting institutions that cater so well many poor and underprivileged children of Nepal, especially girls. I spent a minute here to highlight why we have chosen this fundraiser for Samata School, why it is a noble endeavor. Dr. Bhandari the Vice President of NRN New Zealand, will tell us about Samata School in detail. Last but not the least, let me just say that you are here today because you hear not only the culture, dances and songs from Nepal, but are keen also to help out poor children. We know that many of you want or have been playing a key role in strengthening the socio-economic capacity of Nepal, to which we are tied by birth, by family, or by abiding affection or generosity. You can make a difference, and we look forward to working together to create the safer, prosperous and resilient nation we all imagine when we look to Nepal's future. Thank you so much indeed for your huge support to this charity program and for your kind presence this very evening. I hope we can count on your continued support, and you will find the day memorable and entertaining. Thank you very much indeed, and dhanyavad.
We have a video prepared about Samata School, which is about 10 minutes long. Most of the audio is spoken in the area in Nepali language as well, but we have tried to put it in subtitled in English, and hopefully you can understand. Before actually showing the video, I am going to talk very briefly about Nepal and the literacy status in our country. Many people know Nepal is a country of Mount Everest, and it's very popular with adventure tourism. However, Nepal is one of the least developed countries of the world, and children from low-income families, they have very limited access to quality education. Literacy rate in Nepal is still very low. It's like 50% less in the females, and in the hilly areas or in the rural areas, children still have very limited access to good education. So the governmental education or the government schools provide education in rural areas as well, but the quality is still very low, and there are very good private schools, but people cannot afford, very few people can afford to send their children to the schools. And Samata school is unique in a way that it charges very low fees. It's even lower than the governmental schools, and still the quality of education is very high. And we are going to like program like ours, fundraising event, these kind of programs help to fund the schools. It's not just a single school, it's a school system. Nepal has 75 districts. At the moment, there are these bamboo schools are in around 12 districts, and the plan is to expand the number of schools all over Nepal. So our fund collected from New Zealand will hopefully be able to support one school in a district. Now I want to play the actual video where you can see the school, the children and the principals here.
Society of Canterbury. It gives me great pleasure to congratulate Ishri and the many others involved in organising tonight's celebration of all things Nepali. As part of the global fundraiser for the Samata schools of Nepal, the money gathered will be a tremendous boost to the ongoing schooling needs of the more needy families. And I found it very, very interesting just watching that video program. A decade ago, I could not imagine the strong and vibrant organisation we have become. The society has grown from very small beginnings of only around 30 to 40 people in those early days, to the numbers we now have today, living, studying and working in Christchurch and Canterbury, and contributing a wide range of skills and knowledge to our local area. Although far from your homeland, you have nonetheless been ready and willing to join in this global fundraiser to better the lives of underprivileged Nepali children, and for this you have my profound respect and admiration. Well done. You make me very proud to be associated with such a caring and sharing society, and I look forward to other possible fundraisers of the future. Namaste.
Karr, New Zealand Fantasy Society, Christchurch, for organizing such a wonderful and significant fundraising event. Also, I'd like to take the opportunity to say hello to all of you. As you are aware, Christchurch is a multicultural and multi-ethnic city, country and 61 different ethnic groups settled down in here. How do we to engage with the different culture? How do we to showcase the different culture? Either tonight, the Nepal Society done a great job, give us opportunity, to have a treasure the culture performance. Also, how do we to respect the different culture? Eventually, to mingle as a Kiwi culture. That's our common goal. To make this city more beautiful, more colorful, more harmonious. Also, Christchurch City Council want the funding to the community, to the ethnic group annually for almost 20 years. We have continued to fulfill our promise, to fulfill our commitment. Finally, I wish you all an enjoyable life, and also we do appreciate such a wonderful culture and fundraising tonight. Thank you.
A couple of very quick messages from me. Just thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. I've been fortunate to travel to Nepal a number of times, but I wonder if one needs to. We have so much Nepal here in Christchurch. We have the food, the dances, the cultures, and the warm people. So it may be damping their tourism, but we certainly hope not. I want to actually thank the Nepalese community. I have another role, and I am a patron of the Nepal New Zealand Alumni Association, the groups of students who have left New Zealand and go back and live in Nepal. And I want to let you know that that association last year, during the earthquake, raised between 3.5 to 4 lakh, or over $5,000 from one of the world's poorest countries. They went out on the streets and raised that money, and our consulate, these enjoyment, brought that back to our mayor. So as a citizen of Christchurch, I want to thank Nepalis not for the money, but for their great spirit of generosity in our time of need. So thank you very much for that. My second very quick message is to congratulate you all on this wonderful event tonight. A couple of weeks ago we had the Honourable Karr, who is the Administrative General of the UNDP with us, and she pointed out to us when somebody asked the question, what can we do? Oh, I got a duck what can we do about the world's populations, about risk and resilience, and about moving to a sustainable future? And she said the single most important thing was to educate people, young women in particular. And then, because I work in development studies at the university, if you look at all the effects of education, it's not tertiary education, but it is primary education that gives people the greatest lift in life chances and the greatest sense of happiness as they go through life. So I do congratulate the Bamboo schools. I think they are focusing exactly on the right things: education of young people and education of young women in particular. Thank you for a very enjoyable night. Ka kite anō, dhanyavad, subaratri.
I have 4 very, very brief messages. Community, culture, charity, and of course our children. It has been a privilege tonight to share with you your special community. You have created an atmosphere that reminds all of us how important community is. Community on a scale that is personal and meaningful. Some of you know each other well, others of you have invited strangers amongst you, but you obviously have a strong community. You have shared culture with us. Culture in a global world is something that we should treasure more than ever. While we can fly anywhere on the planet, while we can see things from afar, and while we homogenize so much of our everyday lives, to preserve the culture which defines our origins and our roots, our points of distinction, and that which makes us human, is to be treasured. And charity, that special thing where self-interest is suppressed. Of course we will support and love and cherish our kin and family, but charity goes so much further. Charity is about helping strangers. Charity is about offering with no expectation of receiving. Charity is something that this city has benefited from in the last 2 years, which has helped remind us how important it is to give and not always to receive. And of course, our children. It has been a delight tonight to see so many ages here, sharing, participating, and enjoying. And it goes without saying that education enables us to appreciate not only our community and our culture, but in educating our children, we create for them enormous opportunities. You have so much to be proud of in enabling your children to understand their culture and inviting other cultures to share in yours. Thank you. Tonight has been
when you actually said he's so eloquent. I mean, it's almost never a good idea to go after a celebrity, really. So thank you, Mark, for that wonderful speech, because I'm just going to look like a dork now. Good evening, everybody. Namaste, namaskar. My name is Mellisa Lee. I'm a Member of Parliament, National Member of Parliament. As the MC introduced me, I'm the Parliamentary Private Secretary for Ethnic Affairs. What that means is that I deputise for the Minister of Ethnic Affairs, and on your program it actually says I'm the Private Secretary for the Ministry of Ethnic Affairs. I think there was a slight issue with the translation. I don't work for the Ministry. I just happen to be a Member of Parliament who actually does a lot of ethnic affairs role. I'd like to acknowledge Vice Chancellor Karr, and also from Lincoln University, David Simmons. Nice to see you. And my hero. I told Mark tonight that he's a bit of a hero for me. I said to him, if he can climb Mount Everest, I can actually try my very best to encourage migrant children that if a middle-aged Korean woman can actually become a Member of Parliament, they can achieve anything they put their mind to, because I only started learning English when I was 15, you see. So I try and do the same, so you are a bit of a hero. It is a great opportunity for me to find out a little bit about the Nepal community. I have actually attended these evenings in Auckland, but this is the first time that I've had the pleasure to attend the Christchurch events of Ishwari Napani. Thank you. I don't see him, but thank you very much for the invitation to attend. As Mark also said, you know, in New Zealand we take education almost for granted. But as we saw in the bamboo schools, there are lots of children who are underprivileged who actually can't go to school, and bamboo school is an opportunity for them to actually get an education, and at such a low price. I don't know, how much does it cost in New Zealand? Not $1.54 a month. If we could actually emulate that back in New Zealand, it might be quite good. And also the bamboo idea is really fantastic. As Mark said, you know, with the earthquake pro-New Zealand. If we had buildings made out of bamboo, maybe more could have actually survived. It's not always possible though, is it? You know, I'm very proud of the long history that New Zealand has had with Nepal. As previous speakers have actually said, you know, with Sir Edmund Hillary's Himalayan Trust, this is the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Kunjung School. And I'm very pleased and have been privileged to have met him as well, and he was always very proud of his time spent there. New Zealand government actually continues to make an annual donation to that trust, and the government also established the Sir Edmund Hillary Fellowship in 2008 to facilitate New Zealand visits to New Zealand by young leaders from India and Nepal who have the potential to build influence in the political, academic, business and cultural field in their countries. Do you know, I've got quite a few more pages, but I'll just cut it short because I've been told I had to do a very short speech. Everybody's actually tired now after watching gorgeous performances. I have to say, Ashok, you made me feel very unfit watching you dance on the stage, jumping up and down like that, doing three dances, is that right? And all the performers, you've done absolutely proud your community. You know, I traveled. I've actually, as Parliamentary Private Secretary, I've travelled to up and down, you know, many cities, many events up and down the country, to many different communities, and we share one thing in common, the very fact that we are very proud of our heritage, and that we are very proud of our home countries, and that we don't actually forget, and we instill that kind of pride in our children through our music and our dancing, and I thank you for maintaining that. But isn't New Zealand a wonderful country that we have such a diversity of culture, that we can actually share these cultures with the non-migrant native New Zealanders? And I see so many of you here coming here and enjoying the culture of Nepal, so thank you very much for coming and sharing. And I have to say, you have to be very proud because you taught your little boys how to dance. I must say, I haven't been able to do that. You're better. You're doing a much better job than I am in instilling that culture. Thank you so much for inviting me today. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege.
Attending tonight to support the bamboo schools. I love the concept of bamboo. You know, bamboo defines resilience, and that's what the people of Canterbury and Christchurch have shown over the last few years, so well done. It always reminds me of the Karate Kid, the movie. Okay, remember Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid? He always said, don't be a glass rod. Because when the wind blows, or in our case the ground shakes, the glass rod breaks. Be a big strong shaft of bamboo, because in the wind you flex and you bounce back up and you keep growing. And that is what the bamboo schools are doing. The bamboo schools are growing Nepal. And that for me is magic. Many New Zealanders from Sir Edmund Hillary all the way through has spent a lot of focus on Nepal and on helping the people that we share so many things with. We share a love of the mountains, we share a love of people, we share a love of our children. People like Ray Avery, who you know well, his work in the hospitals, and Sam Morgan, so many different organisations. I'd like to share with you just one small story tonight. For many years we've been ever since I first climbed Mount Everest, we decided that we needed to give something back. One of the things is we help educate some Sherpa children in Kathmandu. With some support now, I'm sure we can generate a lot more for bamboo and educate even more Nepali children. But I was approached through our charity called Limbs for All. And we don't do legs in Nepal. Because in Nepal, actually, you make quite good legs. But one of the things, as many of you will realise, is that in Nepal they have the highest rate of broken backs of anywhere in the world. So many young women climbing in trees to gather forage for their animals, up steep banks. Well, you know what they do now? One of the greatest risks in Nepal is actually falling off a windowsill in a hotel in Kathmandu, while the young ladies are out on the windowsills cleaning the windows. While those that get to hospital, the SIRC, the Spinal Injury Rehabilitation Centre, well, for them, for those of us that know Nepal, getting around in a wheelchair is not easy. Wheelchairs are also very expensive. They used to donate the wheelchairs that looked a wee bit like the seats that you're sitting on here. Just a plastic chair with wheels. That's no use. And so what we do now, through Limbs for All and one other charity, Motivation, is we now can guarantee that every person that breaks their back in Nepal, that makes it to the SIRC, has the ability to use a wheelchair like this. It's a rough terrain wheelchair. It has a gel padded seat, it has removable arms, and most importantly it has this big wheel out the front. You can get around in this. You might not get back to your village, but you can still get around in Kathmandu. Over the last 3 years, we've been able to generate enough funds to guarantee the ongoing supply of these. And just recently, we were able to fund over 200 of these to catch up everyone in Nepal that doesn't have one. And that's not from me, that was from you, from the people of New Zealand, from the Nepali community, from the people of Australia, from their generosity. And so I thought it was just an opportune time tonight to show you what some of the other people are doing, and also just to credit you, to credit the team here for the work that they're doing, because the one thing that we always know, whenever I ask any of my Sherpa friends, what can we do to help? The first thing they always say is educate our children. That is what you're doing here tonight. Thank you. It's been a privilege to be involved with the Nepali Society, and long may it continue. Thank you.
Simmons, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Non-Resident Nepalese Association of New Zealand, I would like to thank you all for attending this fundraising event. As you have seen, the purpose of tonight's program was to offer you Nepali hospitality and to tell you about our fundraising project for Samata School in Nepal. Tonight's program, jointly organized by Non-Resident Nepalese Association and Nepal New Zealand Friendship Society of Canterbury. Non-Resident Nepalese Association was established with the purpose of uniting and binding the Nepali diaspora under one umbrella. In 9 years of its establishment, this organization has National Coordination Council (NCC) in more than 60 countries. One of the objectives of this organization is to provide assistance in the welfare of underprivileged people of Nepal. As you have known from today's program, the numbers of bamboo schools are continuously expanding all over Nepal, and more resources are needed for that. Our organization realized that we shall take this opportunity to make some financial contribution in this noble cause. In addition to educating these vulnerable children, this project helps prevent forced labor of young Nepalese, especially girls. We had so many individuals and organizations who were helping us to make this night successful. Christchurch City Council, Nepal New Zealand Friendship Society of Canterbury, Mr. Raju Sampat from Yogiji Supermarket, BP Horn High, all friends from Christchurch, ladies and all boys and girls, all cultural performers, MC, food management team, everybody who directly or indirectly supported this event. I thank you so much for your contribution. Any support you have given to this project will give children a chance to get out of poverty and have a better future. I hope you enjoyed the cultural program, souvenirs, and also Nepalese food. Thank you again for being here tonight to support us and to support Bamboo School. Thank you. Namaste.
We've got a little helper to help us pick the raffle winners tonight. I think it's Aryan wanting to help out here. Held on to your tickets. First one was 13. Whoever said that was an unlucky number just didn't know what they were saying. Anyone? No? Oh, we got the second place winner here. I'm sorry, your name, sir? Dave. And this is Dave. And this is prize 2 for Dave. Hey, looks like we have the first place winner as well. Number 13 is Canterbury. I think this is Rick, by the way. It's one of our best helpers.
This is a couple of I got myself.
This is the stage.
This is not a setup. It's going out with the spring. Please, my future son in law.
Yep, that's it. I think Dr. Paulanan is going to finish the night off first. From me, thank you to ladies and gentlemen. You've been really great. I'm sorry I started my way through almost 2 hours of your time. Again, thank you for your generosity.
We're born finally on behalf of New Zealand Nepal Friendship Society for attending this program. But some of our friends still want to have some road dance. So if you want to have dance, you can still stay here. Otherwise, good night. Thank you.